All right, we've had some time to think here, folks. The Golden Globes nominations have been out for a while now. I'm going to tilt this up so we get a little bit more of a normal look here. Anyways, and I've thought about a lot of things, and I've looked at a few things, and I've really only made one change, and it's in the film ensemble category. We'll get to it later here, but for now, I think overall, I think tomorrow at the SAGs, we're really going to see a couple of films, I think, that arguably struggled today. I think they're going to do a lot better tomorrow. Obviously, if you caught my last video there, I'm pretty high on the Five Bloods getting... they could get the most nominations tomorrow. We'll go into the who's in and who's out kind of deal here as well. We'll start with the stunt ensemble category here. Let's see, while I'm doing that, I'm going to look up, because, I figured out really late. That's why I was a little worried when I was shooting the video this morning live. I'm like, I think I missed them or something, because it said at this time it's going to start, and then it's like, and then they went back and did more. But, let's see here. What time are the Screen Actors Guild nominations announced? 2021. Have been changed, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I know that's when they're going to air the thing. Okay, here, calendar. We'll see if they have the time tomorrow. That's what I want. It's just, what time do they announce them? Anyways, and I was, kind of thinking it would be just a press release. But no, the fact they got Taraji P. Henson and Sarah Jessica Parker this morning, I was like, oh, okay. And of course, I think they put it out like right after I uploaded the video there on, what day was that? Monday? Yeah. Anyways, but... see, Lily Collins and Daveed Diggs. I think I did read this earlier. Yeah, Lily Collins was a nominee this morning, actually, on the TV side. 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh, okay, that's way later than normal. Okay, I'm used to them being... like this one was where I'm at. It was like 7:35 or whatever. Wait, hang on a minute. What is this? Okay, hang on. We'll be announcing the nominations, kicking off at... Oh, okay, just 10 minutes before on the Instagram stories with an introduction. Oh, okay. So I see here. I was just seeing an article here. So it's like at 7:50 Pacific, they do something on Instagram, and then at 8 o'clock, they'll actually say who's in. So, okay. So in other words, I can just log in at 8 o'clock Pacific and be done there. All right. So, we'll start with the stunt ensemble here. So, good that I got that. So, yes, we will have more live reactions tomorrow. Good deal. Okay. I've kind of thought about it a little bit as well here. I didn't really look at these as much, but I was like, I think we're going to stick with the five I had before. So, that's The Five Bloods, Mulan, News of the World, Tenet, and Wonder Woman 1984. And Tenet getting the nomination this morning for score was a good sign that it's sticking around even in the limited capacity it is right now at the Oscars. Again, I'd be wary of films like Greyhound could sneak in. We could see Midnight Sky potentially. Of the ensemble nominees, otherwise, I think The Five Bloods is that weird one that crosses over, kind of like both The Irishman and Joker did last year, but... For the rest of them, I'm not really seeing, Promising Young Woman, of course, had a great morning this morning. I don't know. I don't see a lot of stunt potential in that one. That could be a weird one. I mean, it is a female-heavy film, so maybe that gets in over Wonder Woman. Maybe I'm just too dumb to predict it. But, I think that's got some potential to it. And then maybe Judas and the Black Messiah, if they saw it in time and it actually surprises us tomorrow and gets in for Daniel Kaluuya, possibly for ensemble. I wouldn't totally throw it out 100%. But it could get a stunt one, too, and end up getting, a surprising number of, 3 nominations there, potentially. But again, I'm not too high on that one's chances enough to predict it because it is such a late comer. It actually just screened for the first time publicly just a couple days ago. I mean, obviously, like we mentioned this morning, it's like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes. They're falling in love with the movie. And I think Daniel Kaluuya, I'm this close to putting him in at the Oscars. I think I just have to figure out if I want to dump somebody else like Paul Raci, who didn't make it this morning, but I feel will do better going forward, or do we want to dump Mark Rylance? because, again, I was kind of talking about it a little bit this morning, but the whole fact that you had Trial of Chicago 7 and One Night in Miami, which, a few months ago, go back to September, October, if you told me that the supporting actor category through the race is only going to have one from each, I would have said, wow, okay. Must be a lot more competitive, because at the time it didn't look very competitive at all, but now it's definitely opened up over the past few months here. Anyway, so that's what I have for Stunt Ensemble. Then we'll get into the other categories here, the other 5. So for Supporting Actress, I'm going to stick with... no, she's not first alphabetically here. Again, I don't have these alphabetical right now. I'll get them in alphabetical, then I'll have them side by side so I can do that. Maria Bakalova for Borat sequel. Then I have Ellen Burstyn. I have her getting in tomorrow for Pieces of a Woman. Glenn Close for Hillbilly Elegy, Olivia Colman for The Father, and Amanda Seyfried for Mank. One thing I didn't mention about Mank, though, I was didn't make it very clear, but the fact that it led nominations this morning might be a little deceiving, because I know if you've been following the Oscar trends here, especially like Gold Derby, IndieWire, they've been putting Mank, they start out very high, and now they've been kind of, steadily decreasing over time, and now after the Globe nominations, it might see a big bump, see a bump, but I'm still thinking it's The Irishman all over again. Other than potentially Amanda Seyfried, it could go 0 for 6 at the Globes. I don't have it as a front runner in any of the Oscar categories right now. So yeah. Anyway, so I think these are the safe 5 right now. Because again, Yoo Jun-young, who I think would have benefited a lot this morning if she had gotten the nomination. I think if she was going to get in anywhere other than like a Critics' Choice or something, I thought Globes was probably the best chance for her. But like we said, at SAG here, the Antonio Banderas one wasn't nominated last year. None of the actors from Parasite were nominated except in Ensemble. So, I'm just not very confident about that one. And Helena Zengel, I don't know, I have to think about it. It's like how many, again, I just can't get these child actors right at the Globes. But usually at SAG, they're not in the mix unless they're absolutely going to be in the Oscar race. Like the one exception I can think of right now is Jacob Tremblay getting in for Room. I was considering putting her back in because her nomination at the Globes definitely shows she's still alive here. But because I was kind of sensing like, potentially I was going to think about dropping her from the Oscar race and from other categories there. But if she gets in tomorrow, it makes it very difficult for her to miss at the Oscars, I think, because that's one aspect of the movie that they're I guess so far latching onto with that. Obviously, she's won a ton of critics prizes for like breakthrough performer and stuff. If it's not Maria Bakalova, and then even then some of those supporting actress races, like I think New York, one of those gave it to Maria as well. So. I mean, they could butt heads in that way. Maybe neither of them make it, and they go with like Saoirse Ronan again, or they go with Jodie Foster maybe. Though I would be wary because the Jodie Foster one just, again, is really late breaking, so I think they'd have to go somebody who was out, earlier than that. But, that's that one there. Supporting actor. I have Sasha Baron, or no, is he first? Yeah, Sasha Baron Cohen out front for the Trial Chicago 7, or he's first alphabetically too. Then Chadwick Boseman, I have in for Da 5 Bloods. Bill Murray in for On the Rocks. I couldn't remember this morning if I had him in at SAG or not, but no, I did have him in. I'm going to keep him in because, we'll talk about him in a minute. Leslie Odom Jr. for One Night in Miami. I'm going to keep Paul Raci in there for Sound of Metal, even though he missed this morning. Again, the pick everybody's probably going to go to after this morning, if they weren't already, was Daniel Kaluuya. But again, I'm really worried about that one coming out so late. I don't know if enough SAG voters will have watched it. I did think about it, and I have been watching, like I said, some of the content from a few years ago here, like 2017. I remember that year there was... I'm thinking of something else. No, before that... there was like, you can go back to examples like The Revenant, at SAG, only got Leo, and it's like he was such a front runner early, even if not enough voters got to the film in time or whatever, they could still put him down. That argument could come through for Daniel Kaluuya, but I'm not sure. I mean, and he is a popular actor. Like I said, I said that after Get Out. I said, man, the reaction he gets when his name is called at these nomination ceremonies and at the awards nights when when they announce him as a nominee, wow, I mean, he gets a response. So he is a very popular actor. But, I mean, there's a big difference between Leo, who's a front runner, pretty much from the word go for The Revenant. I mean, not always, but, was definitely very high up there, versus Daniel Kaluuya, whose film, more or less didn't solidify its release date and say for sure he's going to get in until maybe a month and a half ago. And yeah, up till then, that's almost like a do or die time for these SAG Awards. They, again, really like you and really are favorable to films that come out early. So, yeah, and then plus, Mark Rylance I thought had a decent chance of getting in this morning, but and I'm going again with that kind of spotlight type theory, which is, your front runner film, in this case, Trial Chicago 7 this year, and only will get the one nomination for supporting actor, which it got this morning. It was also Sasha. But I remember Spotlight that year at SAG got 0 in the supporting acting race. It only got Rachel McAdams into supporting actress, and then only landed the ensemble category on top of that. So could happen for Trial Chicago 7 where it gets just this one and then ensemble. That's what I have predicted. And it's also reminiscent of American Hustle, which I think probably that year a lot of us would have been on the same bandwagon where it's like, yeah, it's probably the front runner for SAG, regardless of who's going to win Best Picture and stuff. And it got Jennifer Lawrence and it got the ensemble, and that was it. So that feels right to me. Like I said, there was a little bit of a feeling I had on Monday there where I was like, well, if Sasha, if they really like him enough and they want to go somebody else in supporting, like they want to go Mark Rylance, they want to go with one of the other ones from Chicago 7, they could put him in lead for Borat and be that weird 5th spot, but I don't know. I didn't think so. No. So yeah, so I'm going to keep him in, and yeah, the Bill Murray thing is interesting because I've been, I was really didn't make it very clear this morning, or at least probably it should be reemphasized if not. But On the Rocks I thought was really going to benefit from being in that comedy musical category lead for Rashida Jones and the film itself. And I thought Bill Murray would have a much easier shot in lead actor comedy if he was there, but instead he ended up in supporting, so I didn't predict him. And I was really on the waffle there, so I didn't get him right this morning. But the fact that the film, again, in my opinion, was almost frontrunner status for that comedy musical Globe, maybe with the exception of The Prom, and Rashida felt like a slam dunk just because there was not way too many other options in that category. So instead they go with somebody who nobody had heard, a film that nobody had remembered or heard of with music or whatever, the Kate Hudson one. Yeah, so the fact that the only thing they went for was Bill Murray in a competitive category like that where they go with Jared Leto. Wow. Okay, that means they like him. So I think, again, On the Rocks is Apple. It was out early enough in September, October, in that range. So I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling, yeah, he'll probably make it. And Chadwick, they like him at SAG, I think. The Black Panther getting the not only the stunt ensemble but also the film ensemble win, and him giving the speech and stuff. I think that a couple of years ago, getting the double nod, I think is a good sign. Plus, again, I think they're going to like Da 5 Bloods, again, more so than definitely the Globes did this morning, where they gave it a goose egg. Okay, anybody else we want to throw out here? I've seen a few people are putting Glenn Turman in for Ma Rainey's. He did get a couple critics prizes for supporting actor. Again, after I saw the film, I was like, I had to question, okay, which one was Glenn Turman? Because going into the film, everybody was like, oh, Glenn Turman, wow, he stands out. Other than Viola and Chadwick, it's like, man, he's so good. And it's like, I remember I saw the film, I'm like, which one is he? I'm like, he's not that one, because I know that's, yeah, and that was Coleman Domingo, who's the, okay, is he the piano? No, the piano is Glenn Turman, but he is, trombone is the other one there. Sorry, I forgot, I just said his name, Coleman Domingo. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like if he was really going to be on that track to get the nomination and stuff, I think he would have gotten in this morning. I think we would have seen a lot more buzz kind of coming up for him there. But right now, he feels like a long shot. Stanley Tucci's another one. At least a month or a month and a half ago at the Oscars, he was almost like in 4th place on some lists. And it's like, I don't know, it felt like that one was kind of a flash in the pan thing. David Strathearn, again, if he had gotten in this morning, it would have been a different story for him, but yeah, I mean, there's definitely other possibilities here. I mean, I don't necessarily see like Jared Leto coming back tomorrow. That might be just a kooky Globes thing. Yeah, I'm gonna stick with that. Speaking of kooky things, going into Best Actress here, alphabetically I have him as Viola Davis for Ma Rainey's, Sydney Flanagan. I still have her in for Never, Rarely, Sometimes, Always. Vanessa Kirby for Pieces of a Woman, Frances McDormand for Nomadland, and Carey Mulligan for Promising Young Woman. Usually what I do is I'll go through the Golden Globes list of who I think will win early on. I'm going to, just for fun, do that at the end of this video, because we'll talk about Carey Mulligan some more. But in this category, I feel like, generally speaking, 4 of these 5 are safe. The Sydney Flanagan is the weird one. And I look over everything, and I'm like, man, it feels like Zendaya, who missed this morning, that one came out late. It is a movie all about, it's 2 actors, one of them plays an actor, one of them plays a director. So it is SAG, the Screen Actors Guild. I mean, I didn't even really think that through too much. But I'm really more concerned about the fact that it is almost like probably one of the last films that they could have gotten, really. And everything there. So again, yeah, I'm not way too confident on that. If it comes back, I think it'll be a genuine surprise. Otherwise, Andra Day, who got in this morning, again, I'm wary about that one from the release date standard. And then plus you have, even though it proved to counter that point, though, this morning with both her and Viola getting in, it's like the fact that they're both playing a very similar diva jazz singer type character in the same era, I thought would really hurt Andra Day more than Viola Davis. But it's like, I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't totally count out somebody like a Michelle Pfeiffer, who got in this morning for French Exit, expectedly, though. Sophia Loren, who missed this morning. I don't feel like the Globes, I don't think, was the last shot for her. I think if she somehow gets that 5th slot here, The Life Ahead was an early film. It was on Netflix, so it could benefit from that. Possible. I think it's possible, but if she doesn't get in here, it makes it very tough to get in at the Oscars. I would still throw out a couple names from early films, like Kate Winslet for Ammonite, as a possibility. And then, I don't know, the way that Roseman Pike nomination this morning went, that one is streaming late, so I don't think so. But again, yeah, it's a weird year too, so it could be an exception where some of these late films actually do get a bump here where they normally don't. Okay, I have the same 5 for Best Actor here, so that'd be Riz Ahmed for Sound of Metal, Chadwick Boseman for Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, Anthony Hopkins for The Father, Delroy Lindo for Da 5 Bloods, and Gary Oldman for Mank. And I feel like Delroy really will bounce back here tomorrow. If he misses tomorrow, that's tough. That's tough, because I can see him, depending on, I forget when Critics' Choice comes out, for 2021. When are they announced? I know they have the TV ones out already. Whoops. Yeah, film. I typed in film nominations. It gave me the list for who's nominated in that. But okay, I'm not seeing. I forget when because I always think I'm going to miss them or something. And it's like, really, right now, I am not concerned at all about predicting those. I'll just talk about them when they come out. Voting branch. Okay, hold on a minute. Film. Here we go. Nominations. Oh, they're February 8th, so that's coming up here. That is next Monday. Next Monday they're coming out. So again, I mean, there's nothing on Gold Derby where you can predict them. I'm not seeing a lot of coverage on them. It's just because they're so frustrating. I mean, there's almost zero pattern to how they determine who the nominees are and stuff. So yeah, I'm all for just talking about them when they announce who's nominated. But Delroy, I mean, depending on if they have 8 or 9 nominees, and I'm not even half joking there, Delroy should be a lock to get one of those Critics' Choice nominees. But after that, he might struggle. I mean, BAFTA, possible, but they did go for BlacKkKlansman more than I thought they would a couple of years ago. But even Da 5 Bloods, the fact that they didn't go for it at all this morning, it really hurt. Delroy, he has a couple critics prizes to his name, but otherwise he's, not a lot of early buzz for him from the critics prizes and stuff. Most of those have been going for Riz Ahmed or Chadwick Boseman, a couple, I think 1 or 2 for Anthony Hopkins as well. But yeah, it really feels like Critics' Choice. If he doesn't get in there for whatever reason, if he misses tomorrow as well, unfortunately I think we have to go with somebody else there for Best Actor, because I do have... I have these 4, and then I have John David Washington replacing Delroy Lindo at the Oscars. The other 4, Ahmed, Oldman, Hopkins, and Boseman, I have at the Oscars. But it's that 5th slot. It's like, okay, is it Delroy, who I just took out, or is it John David Washington? Could it possibly be somebody who got in this morning? I don't know. Right now, that the one for the Marturian, yeah, I wouldn't be. I can't say it. It's early right now, so I don't know. Anyways, is there anybody who could really get over these 5 tomorrow? Possibly. I would say Kingsley Benadir is not totally out of it for One Night in Miami. He was in supporting this morning, so that's maybe part of the reason he didn't get in. Again, if it had come out earlier, Lakeith Stanfield, I would say, for Judas Black Messiah might be a little bit of a better shot, but again, I'm wary of that. Stephen Yeun from Minari, possibly. Yeah, the fact that it only got foreign language film this morning at the Globes, I think really hurt that film. We'll see. I mean, if it overperforms tomorrow at SAG and gets him and the supporting actress in Ensemble or something, then we know it's okay. But yeah, that I thought maybe after the controversy with the Globes not putting it into like a drama film, which I guess by their rules it's not eligible for that, I thought maybe they'd double back on it and say, okay, well, we can put it here, like for director or for screenplay maybe, or for, a couple things. But the fact that they couldn't find anywhere but their foreign language film category there really hurt it. Okay, so for Film Ensemble, I did make one change here. The 5 I have are The Five Bloods, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. Again, I don't have these alphabetical in front of me, so I have to do some work on the fly here. One Night in Miami I have in there. Yep, Promising Young Woman, and Trial of the Chicago 7. So I took out Minari at the last minute here. And that's really because, again, part of this is just because of the Globes thing, so it might be wrong. Sometimes I make these changes from Globes to SAG, and they don't turn out. Sometimes they do. But this is one, again, when I saw the film, I had a little bit of that feeling for Ensemble. And as I was watching the film, I had a little bit of that, wow, the style of the directorial job by Emerald Fennell really is sticking out to me right now. And look what happened this morning. This movie is sticking around. It was out early enough. I think it's definitely going to be in play here. I don't know. So, speaking of the director race, though, for her, I kind of thought about it a little bit today as well. I'm like, it could be like a Todd Phillips situation, and not comparing the two films because their subject matters, well, they're not way too far apart. But Todd Phillips obviously was the director, I think, nomination last year that everybody especially that covered it, like media wise, like they went on Good Morning America, whatever, they were pissed. They were flat out fucking pissed that he got in because they knew he got in over Greta Gerwig and a few other of the female directors last year. Like they were fucking pissed at him. For the movie, and maybe they didn't like Joker overall, but it's like I could just tell from the way they were talking, the way that immediately after they said who should get in, the first thing they said was Greta Gerwig, and then the first thing they say after that or before it is that Todd Phillips should not be on the list. I know a lot of that has to do with just their preference there for what looks good versus all that. But anyways, in this case though, I can see a very similar trajectory for her though. She gets in at the Globes. Todd Phillips, I did not have him nominated last year, but I knew he was in the discussion. I knew he was close. Maybe like a 10th, 11th, 12th kind of possibility there. Emerald, I didn't even mention except once when I kind of more or less half reviewed the film. And I said, maybe if she gets in at the Globes, maybe I can see her going from there. Well, here we are. She's in. I can see her getting like a Critics' Choice nomination, missing DGA. BAFTA could go either way, and then she comes back and gets nominated at the Oscars. That's the trajectory I can see for that one. Yeah, so it's very possible right now for her to get that Oscar nomination. So yeah, and the fact that it overperformed this morning the way it did in the categories it did really shows. And it could be a Globes thing. Immediately, one of the first things I did, I have to look it up again here just to find the two examples. But in the category, especially the drama category at the Globes, obviously the Globes doing a Globe thing, over awarding a movie they really like, traditionally that goes in the comedy musical category. Because again, 9 times out of 10, your nominees over there are not going to line up with the Oscars, except with a couple of exceptions. But probably the last time, I'm going to double check what year this was. Ides of March, that one. That's probably the last time we saw a film do very well at the Globes in the drama category and then really disappoint at the Oscars. So I mean, we could be due for that again with this one. I don't know. But at the Globes that year, it was in for screenplay, which was the only bid it got at the Oscars, and as I've been saying, might, in a weird scenario, be the only spot that Promising Young Woman ends up as just an original screenplay this year at the Oscars. But it also got in for Ryan Gosling for lead actor, director for George Clooney. And remember, they do like George Clooney and director here. He's gotten in a few times, and I saw a couple people putting him in for Midnight Sky this year, but I wasn't that confident in it, no. And I also got in for picture drama. So that's really, I believe, the last time we saw a film do that well. They had 6 nominees that way by the year, so I guess there was a tie there for that drama category. Otherwise, if you go back through the years there, I was going to find, where was that other example at? Because I'm looking through like 2010, 2009, even 2008. I mean, the one exception in 2008 that I'm looking at that might be possible relatable here is Revolutionary Road, which got lead actor for DiCaprio, lead actress for Kate Winslet, who later won. Also won supporting that year for The Reader, though. Got in for film, and I believe, if I remember, I got in for director. Yeah, Sam Mendes. They like him at the Globes, as we saw last year. I believe those 4. It did end up with Michael Shannon, supporting actor at the Oscars, and then just like costume design, production design, I believe. So it got, it wasn't in the same categories there, but and then you can go back, like I went back to 2007 as well here, and I think that's where I stopped. But we saw like American Gangster do really well here at the Globes. It got picture drama nomination. It got Denzel in for lead actor. It got, again, somebody who's been nominated a lot is Ridley Scott got in for best director. And I think there was one, was it just those 3? I'm going to check here. Yeah, just those 3. And then we saw like The Great Debaters, which I believe was that the Denzel one, or am I thinking of the wrong one? Yeah, Denzel directed that one as well, starred in it. That's right, yeah. That one got in because there were 7 nominees that year for motion picture drama. That was one of them, was The Great Debaters. The rest of them, and then Eastern Promises also got in for film drama. And that got him, the film Vigo, and the score in. But, yeah, that one, obviously, at the Oscars, I think Vigo was it, right? I was thinking History of Violence, but no, that just got, that got a couple other things there, I think. But yeah, just Vigo I see getting in here. So I thought about that too, but I'm like, I don't know. Right now, the momentum of the film, I think I was arguing at the time because I remember right after it came out, everybody started bumping it up. I'm like, as I was like, and I liked the film a lot, but I was like, I just worry that we're setting expectations too high because, yeah, we're all off the high of seeing it right now, but it's like, will that maintain as we get into Globes, as we get into SAG? Well, all the story this morning was all about that. So far the momentum is sticking there. So again, that little, ESP feeling I had while watching the movie and seeing that, I ignored it on Emerald Fennel. I didn't really believe in it, and it happened. So now I'm not going to ignore it. So I'm putting Promising Young Woman in there. Again, I'm wary about the Ma Rainey thing because of how the credits are listed there. That one could miss, and it did miss for drama film this morning. I thought that'd be a little bit more of a slam dunk there. That's possible. I think Defy Bloods to me, I feel like that one, that's more a SAG movie than a Golden Globes movie, so I'd be a little surprised if that one doesn't get in. One Night in Miami did miss, again, the Globe Picture Drama nomination this morning, but it still got director, still got an actor in there for Leslie Odom Jr., and a song nomination. So I can still see that one getting in, but I feel like that one is more of a long shot now, like to win. Minari I'd still be wary of. Mank, I don't think so, because that ensemble would just be so small. Kind of the same thing with Nomadland as well. The Prom is a possibility. I think if it had really overperformed at the Globes today, like gotten in, not only James Corden, but if Streep had gotten in, like somehow, what's his name? The guy who directed it. Maybe it'll come up here. No, I don't want to add it because I can only have 5. What's the God? That's the director's name there. The guy who does all the TV stuff. It'll come to me. If he had gotten in for director, and if the film had gotten like a screenplay nomination, and Nicole Kidman, or it had really, really overperformed there, maybe I'd be a little more swayed to predict it for ensemble. But as it stands, no, I don't think so. All right. Otherwise, I think that about does it there for that. So, yeah, SAG, I think right now I have Defy Bloods leading all nominations tomorrow. Then Ma Rainey's, I have 3. One Night in Miami probably tops out at 3, but I have it just down for 2. Trial of Chicago 7, I think 2. Yeah, if it gets at least the 2, that should be fine. Promising Young Woman, I then have 2 nominations for that. Pieces of a Woman, I have getting 2, but I don't see a lot of crossover possibilities for that for like Ensemble. Not really. Let's see. I think otherwise, The Father I have getting 2. Mank I have getting 2. Sound of Metal I have getting 2. So yeah, a lot of those sound right because we don't always. If you get 2 nominations, it doesn't automatically mean you're in for Ensemble. It's like and especially a year like this, it might be tough. Yeah, so that should do it for that. So real quick, though, again, just to stick with tradition, I usually say, okay, who's the early frontrunner now after we see the nominations for the Globes? Who feels like they really, could maybe get bumped up a little bit more than we saw early on. So with my current Best Picture prediction winner, One Night in Miami, not in for film drama, I'm really looking at that category. I can see a scenario where Nomadland kind of falls short there for Best Picture. Mank, I think, again, the best chance for that one is supporting actress, but otherwise, I think that one might otherwise go 0 for 6. Promising Young Woman, even though it does have director and writing, which really the only other films to have directing and writing are Mank, Nomadland, and Trial of Chicago 7. They all kind of cancel out there. I don't know. I think Trial of Chicago 7 is your early frontrunner for now. Let's see, for film, comedy, musical, I think it comes down to Borat, Hamilton, or The Prom. Hamilton, just on the sheer popularity of the show and stuff, might get in. Like, it would really be helpful. I didn't predict it and everything, but if Leslie Odom had gotten in as well as Lin-Manuel Miranda, and then it got in for film, comedy, musical, then I'd say it had a much stronger shot. But right now, I think it's like a third-place pick. The Prom, missing Meryl and missing the song nomination and potentially Nicole Kidman. I didn't have her in, but it's like quite a few people did. That shows that it's not a super, super favorite by any means. So Borat could sweep because I think both Sasha Baron Cohen and Maria Bakalova are out front in their respective categories. I can see on the comedy actor side, I can see maybe a slight upset by Lin-Manuel Miranda if they want to go Sasha for supporting. But again, I feel like Leslie Odom will probably have that supporting category. So I think Sasha, the one place to award him there is lead actor. And then for comedy actress musical, I feel like Anya Taylor-Joy getting in for Emma, just getting the nominations, the win there. I think if she's going to win anywhere, it'll be on the TV side. Roseman Pike, this is her 3rd nomination. So it could be a kooky, weird win there. Kind of like an Aaron Taylor-Johnson win there. But I think it's probably down to Maria or Michelle Pfeiffer. And it depends, because remember, French Exit's going to come out and release in theaters and could get some more popularity bump right before the final voting begins, or like right as final voting is beginning, or somewhere in there. Obviously, the Globe voters have already seen it, but if we start to see more of a trajectory later on here as more critics see it and stuff, where it's like, oh, Michelle Pfeiffer might actually get in for like the Oscars, then the Globes might want to give her the win. That way they get, okay, the winner here also gets nominated at the Oscars, because otherwise, Frances, Viola, Vanessa, and Carrie, they all feel safe on the actress drama side to get nominated there. I can see a scenario where maybe Michelle comes back and wins that one. But for now, I think Maria Bakalova, I'm going to follow the trajectory that a lot of people were picking last year around Ana de Armas, where it's kind of that, let's award a new ingenue type performance. A lot of people thought that for Knives Out last year. I didn't buy it. I went with Awkwafina for The Farewell, and that turned out to be correct there. Speaking of the and then for the drama races, Chadwick I'm going to keep out front for film drama, just because it feels like he's on that trajectory already. Though again, I'd be wary because Anthony Hopkins, he has an honorary Globe, but that's it. He's never won a competitive Globe, so they could still give it to him, and they did. The Father is in Best Picture drama, and Ma Rainey's is not. So maybe they, and it has double the nominations that Ma Rainey's got. Stranger things have happened, but again, just the trajectory right now, all the everything is kind of pitching in Chadwick's favor right now. But again, this might be the one place where he loses, and then that might start him on the trajectory to lose, but I don't know. And one thing, too, I know earlier, we've been talking about it here, I have him getting the double nomination tomorrow. If he ends up getting the double nomination at the Oscars, that maybe might hurt him. Maybe getting the double nomination turns into the win for him, then they can award Anthony Hopkins at the Oscars if he picks up all the momentum and wins BAFTA, wins SAG, and wins here, if that were to happen. It's possible. It's possible. But again, I think the overwhelming sentiment seems to be that he's going to win here. So I'm not going to bet against that for now. Meanwhile, in drama actress, I think after the showing today, I'm putting Carey Mulligan ahead. Yeah, and I think she could start a train where she just goes through everything and wins. Remember, she is British, so BAFTA very likely could give it to her. They've already given Viola Davis and Frances McDormand wins at BAFTA. SAG, same thing. They've given Viola and Frances wins before, and especially for Frances, they've given her multiple wins with the ensemble categories and stuff. And Viola might have an ensemble win in there somewhere, too. The Help. There we go. Yep, The Help. That's one she won for. So Vanessa Kirby, again, I was thinking the ingenue thing, so she could still come through, but the fact that she was the sole nominee for Pieces of a Woman probably hurts her there. The fact Promising Young Woman, on the mean hand, overperformed, that I think really goes in her favor there. Okay, then the supporting race. Oh, director. We didn't mention director yet. Director, yeah, Chloe Zhao probably out front there. I've heard Zhao, Chow. I don't know. Everybody pronounces it differently, but yeah, I can see her, riding the wave of a lot of the critics' prizes, giving her best director, and she continues to win there. David Fincher has already won here as well, so yeah. And unless they want to line up picture, drama, and director here, if it does go to Trial of Chicago 7, then they can give it to Aaron Sorkin. I mean, he does have 9 nominations in total now after today. But, I don't know, they've given him 2 screenplay wins, so it's not like they've never awarded him before. If he, lost everything before, leading up to now, maybe he'd stand a better chance. But yeah, I'd say Chloe wins this one. For supporting actor, yeah, we mentioned Leslie Odom Jr. probably has this one. Yeah. Again, unless Sasha loses lead actor comedy and they want to give it to him here, but I have my doubts. Supporting actress, yeah, I mean, I could see Jodie winning this one, possibly. The thing is, Olivia Colman, I didn't even mention this. Remember, she won the Globe many years ago, not many years ago, but a few years ago for The Night Manager. Then she won 2 years ago for The Favorite for lead actress comedy musical. And she won another Globe last year on the TV side for The Crown, and she could repeat again on the TV side. Right now, I'd be more inclined to vote for her and predict her co-star who got nominated for lead actress for The Crown. But just because it feels like she's won literally everything up to this point, I think, of the Globes, except for I think she's only lost once at the Globes. Now that I think about it. I need to see Golden Globes. Maybe she's undefeated. Yeah, she is undefeated at this point. Yeah, and now she's nominated again in both category, both the film acting category for The Father, and then also for again in the same category for The Crown. I think she could lose both though. Even though, yeah, we did, they did like The Father enough to put it in for screenplay and lead actor in film over a few other competitors in those categories. But yeah, I'd say yeah, it comes down to Amanda or Jodie Foster. It'd be something though, because Jodie Foster did win the Night of Silence of the Lambs. Obviously, as we've mentioned here, since Anthony Hopkins has never won a competitive Globe, he did not. That went to Nick Nolte, I believe, that night for Prince of Tides. But Amanda Seyfried, again, is probably the one I'll go with early here, just because Mank has that many number of nominations. Though, again, as I've mentioned, The Post had the same number of nominations, not in the same spots, but, similar, very similar trajectory, and went 0 for 6. So, yeah, and the Martanian, whatever. I think Martani, I think that's closer. I said it right this morning, right after they said it, but the fact that Tahar Rahim was a kind of surprise nominee there means they didn't just like her in it, they liked the movie itself. So, yeah, maybe they do go for Jodie there. Let's see, for screenplay, Trial of Chicago 7's probably up front here. And then I have The Father in second place, so that could be an upset win. But yeah, it's probably Aaron Sorkin again here. Even though, yeah, the last 2 times he's been nominated as a screenwriter, he's won, I think, except for Molly's Game, I think he got in for. And he lost for that one, I believe. think that was the last time he was nominated here at the Globes, actually, now that I say that. Jessica Chastain got in too, that's right. But yeah, otherwise, like, he won for Social Network and he won for Steve Jobs for screenplay, so I can see him coming back and winning this one. Or they could go with The Father. So it's probably, it's down to those two. Promising Young Woman is a third place contender that could come through, but for now, I'd probably say, let's I think it's down to those two, with Promising Young Woman being the another possible upset there. Then for animated feature, it's probably Soul. Foreign language film probably comes down to Minari or Another Round. For now, I'd say Another Round, just because that one seems to have the momentum there. The fact that Minari did not do well in other categories, I'd probably say stick with Another Round there. In the score category, even though they're Atticus Ross and Trent Reznor both got the double nod, I can see Soul pushing this one out and getting the second win here. And then for song, probably Speak Now, the One Night in Miami song, probably. Though I believe Leslie Odom is nominated for that. I believe he got credited for that as well. So, let's see, it's probably not on there. So I was going to double check that, but so he could win 2 of his bids here on February 28th. So yeah. Okay, I didn't do that this morning. I meant to go back and do that, but so that's what I have for now for SAG. Should be here again tomorrow morning. We'll do some live reactions, and we'll go from there. And after SAG, we'll get the Critics' Choice nominations there on Monday. Again, I'll just shoot a video after they're out at some point. Because again, they are, as bad as it was this year with like the Globes and now SAG not really being upfront about when they're announcing stuff. Critics' Choice is the absolute worst. They save it, like, literally nobody knows until they start announcing who's in. So so that I'm giving them the middle finger this year. I'm not predicting them in advance until they get to the award show. I'm just gonna say who's in after they announce who's in, and we'll go from there. Because again, largely the Critics' Choice is totally irrelevant. They are, especially when you have 8, 9 nominees, or I'm joking again, but like 6, 7, 8 nominees in each category, when you know it goes down to 5 at the Oscars, except for Best Picture, and at Best Picture you have a solid 10. So it's like, I don't know. Who knows? But I don't know, just for fun, I can say it's probably all the frontrunners right now that get in for the 10. It's probably Nomadland, Trial of Chicago 7, Mank, Da 5 Bloods, The Father, One Night in Miami, Ma Rainey's, News of the World, Promising Young Woman, and Minari are probably the 10 that get in. There's a couple other, Sound of Metal could get in there, stuff like that. But it's like, I don't know. It's, largely that's one I'm just not kind of protesting my vote on that one for coverage on that, just because I'm just not a fan of theirs. And then you get to their actual award show, and that's always a shit show. Absolutely terrible. So we'll talk about them after they have everything out, and then we'll talk about them. Then we'll talk about them before the award show, after the award show, and that's my extent. Okay, so that's it for this video. We'll be back tomorrow morning for more live reactions, and we'll see where the Oscar race continues to turn after that.